Good afternoon, Parallaxx Adventurepreneurs. Take two. I've switched over to my phone because we have a much better video quality. It's just a little bit strange to look at the camera, look at myself, look at the comments. So I apologize if it comes across weird. I'll review this afterwards and hopefully it's all good. So jumping on, we run a poll last week around what the biggest challenges the members of this group are facing currently right now. If you haven't gone and completed it, go back and put your vote in. It's not too late. Currently, at the moment, the highest vote was time or lack of time. Hello, whoever just tuned in. Pop your name below. I'd love to comment with you. So, yeah, challenges around time. So, as promised, I'm jumping in and sharing some pointers on the topic. And ironically, I was actually finding this a little challenging to make time to do it. Barley time or time warp, it's almost a synonymous kind of phrases, if you like. But I know, and we probably both know actually, that's a bit of an excuse, right? It's a little bit of bullshit. And I got thinking, I'm not sure quite where this thinking was come from, but I was thinking, well, who am I really to have an authority on this topic? Really? Because I don't have a magic bullet to change your life and, the challenges that you got, around time right now. But all I can share with you is, are my beliefs and what have made a massive change and impact in my life from, it wasn't that many years ago. I remember, and this went on for quite a few years, is I always felt like I was running out of time, no matter what I was doing on, and micro, but also macro scale. I felt like time was always running out and the world was about to end. To now become a lot calmer within, timing. And you can even ask my mum this. I'm sure she'll come and comment at some stage. Hi, mum. And, it's something that I have learned to deal with over time. So, as always, love your feedback. Love your comments. Everything's up for debate. And if you've got any other points to add, love for you to chime in and respond as well. So this is going to be a 3-part video series because otherwise it will be just way too long of a rant. And I know that a lot of you have got stuff to do with your time. So let's see how we go. I think it's going to be 3 and see how we go with that. So where do we start? And actually the very first point ties in with responsibility. So responsibility, that was my very last live that I did. If you haven't seen that, go back and watch that because there was lots of comments on that, lots of engagement. And I feel like there were some really good key takeaways within that live. So if you haven't seen it, go back and watch that and it will tie in quite nicely with what we're going to discuss here today. So the belief within that was that we are 100% responsible for our life. No one else can or really should be trying to step into that responsibility. And of course, that includes the way we choose to spend our time as well. All right. I remember when somebody pointed out to me at one stage, and it's a very simple idea, that we all have the exact amount of time in this world together. Right? No one's any different. No one's got more time. No one's got less time. We all have the same amount of time. And I was like, yeah, that's true. So then that begs the question of, well, how are some people achieving so much with their time and, creating businesses, creating great lifestyle, achieving a lot of great outcomes, and they still have a life that they love, with balance? How are some people doing that while others just don't have time for anything else or anything at all? I don't feel like anyone here within this group, we're all doing amazing things. I know the majority of you personally in the comments and everything that, we're doing fantastic things. So I wouldn't say any of us are down that path, but, somewhere in between. How can we get further to the point of going, we've got all the time in the world to do all the amazing things that we want? All right, so really it comes down to, the effectiveness. How effective we can be with the time that we have available. And sure, I appreciate that, we have jobs, we have kids or families, and we have responsibilities that we need to be taken care of in the day. But it doesn't take up 24 hours of every single day, right? And really, we choose, and coming back to the responsibility piece of, we can choose to use our time more productively, or we can choose to make an excuse of why we don't have time. All right. So I think the best way maybe that I can describe this, and the big turning point where this really hit me in the face is a little story, if I can share. And I'll try not to rant too much. It is something that I'm really proud of, because as a result of this, not only did I learn about the way I can really enhance the way I use my time, but it gave me a belief that I trust myself 100% to always follow through with the things that are important, what I say I'm going to do, and it gave me a huge level of that. So it is something I'm really proud of. It happened actually, 2019 was an incredible year. That was the year that I resigned from my corporate career. Ended up making, in the first half of the year, making more money than I'd ever seen in my life. Used that to start a business, but by the end of 2019, I went from kind of big swinging dick entrepreneur with all the money to bankrupt. If it was possible, probably, or maybe being a dog bludger, but in Australia that wasn't available to me as a Kiwi. So it was like, all right, well, it was an ego check. All right, what I ended up doing is going and working in this quarry, driving heavy trucks, and what that meant was waking up at 5 a.m. to drive 1 hour, to start at 6 a.m., work 12 hours pretty much straight. There was like 2 half-an-hour breaks in there. To drive an hour home, so 14 hours, and then that's just of work. There was no the life responsibilities, cooking, cleaning, errands, or whatever else there is to do, and that was 6 days a week. So on top of that, learning, personal development, building a business, and a second business at that stage as well. It was impossible, right? Funny enough, something that somebody said, I think it was actually Mr. Luke Lawson, my brother. He's full of fantastic advices in times of these. He said, well, don't waste the hour, the hour going to and from work. It's an amazing gift to just have that space. Watch videos. Well, no, pretend I didn't say that. Don't watch videos while you're driving, but listen to audiobooks and podcasts and that kind of thing. So I did that, and one of the podcasts, I can't remember what it was on, but it was on this very topic around the challenge of time and time management. And the example that they used in that was Tony Robbins. Actually, I only just found out like 6 months ago, Tony Robbins and Anthony Robbins, same person. They're not brothers. If you don't know who he is, don't worry about it. How, he was doing these live, world-class, high-profile shows. These are 12, 14 hours a day. He had his other businesses going on. And in that time of a period of whatever it was, 8 to 12 months, or however the story goes, he even wrote a book. And I was like, that is incredible. I don't know what that takes, but I've seen insights of some of it, and that is huge. That is amazing. All right. And not only did it sort of make me realize, well, we all have the same amount of time to create what it is that we want to create, but, we have the power to always do more. So it lit a fire under my ass. And what I ended up doing was I continued the podcast and all the learning I need to do to and from work, took my laptop to work, and in my lunch break, I had 2 half-an-hour breaks. I'd jump on, I'd fill all my e-commerce orders through Parallaxx apparel, send all those out. After work, I'd get home, I'd jump straight in. What I did is, if you're in Australia, you might know U-Foods. I brought pre-made foods that got delivered to me every 3 days. So that covered all my lunches and my dinners. So I don't have to go to the grocery store, cook the food or clean. That really enhanced that. And I worked my ass off until like 10 o'clock. I got really good at the transitions between all the steps along the way to really effectively manage my time. And, sure, 6 to 7 hours a night sleep wasn't great. I'm very much an 8 hours kind of scheduled person. But I was like, I just got to do what I got to do, and this is not going to be forever. I did do that right up until the point that I moved to Bali, actually. And so the point of it is that it fucking worked. It was amazing. It worked. So I guess where that leaves us is, it's really about how are you choosing to spend your time. I didn't actually think about how I was going to wrap this up. But how you choosing to spend your time shows you what's most important to you. Does that align with where you want to go, right? If you spend a lot of your time watching TV shows and Netflix, is that really what's important to you, at the expense of saying this is what you want, but you're not going to do it, right? That kind of brings us to my second point, which we'll cover in the next video, episode, can we call it? The challenge of time episode. I'll cover that next time because I feel like we're digressing. I hope that served you. How long was it? I can't see on my phone. I hope that was within time. Talk to you then. Thank you very much for tuning in.